Okay, now that we got our side view, time to move on to the front view. Now, what I would suggest to start off with is the space or the smoke box. So what we do is grab a spear, or a circle to say, scale it to the same height, or something like that. And then just make sure you got it right, you look good. Then you center it, and you align it in the center. And then you also make the smoke box support. So basically what you do is just start off with the smoke box, because that's where usually the front is. Okay. 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 So after that, then you need to take note of this part. Like, apparently this part here is where most the other detail of the smoke box is. I don't know if you could see it, but yeah. But yeah, so this part here. So what I'm gonna do is you got a polyline and just kind of shape your way to form it like this. Of course, it can be pretty hard to do so. And then, yeah, from there you start adjusting it to exactly like that. It's very time consuming, but if you want to go for attention to detail, then sure, you can do that. Now the trick here is why I made this is because I can use it to hide the fact that it's to make it easier. Then I align it, I shape it, and then add the lining, like just like that. Then I double check if it's good enough, and it's close enough. Of course, you could also not include this one, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm gonna keep it. Now, oh yeah, and one thing, for the funnel, the easiest trick is that I basically got a side view and grab the funnel itself and just bring it to the front view and line it centrally. Now this is optional, but like, and this is based on the curve. But if you want to move it out, just hide the fact, then you can do that, or just not include it entirely. But I'm just gonna keep it. I'm just keep it for now. Or you could just move it down. Make sure you put it behind it. Now see here that this face and smoke bar are the same circumference or the same height. That's why I only have this face here and not the whole smoke box. But like, if you want to make it see the smoke box, you must shrink the face a bit and then and then like this. It'd be something like this. Something like this. For the sake of it, I'm just gonna keep it. Keep it as is. Make sure everything is aligned in center. Okay, now for the body itself. Now this this is gonna be a tricky part because, well, usually it's not aligned like properly, like how a normal orthographic ortho diagram goes, because it's a thing called perspective warp. Basically, when not everything is aligned how it should be. Like this tank here is not aligned with the cap itself. You see there's some dash here and here, or aligned, which means not center. And it should be. But like here's a trick that I do. That I will shape it. Oh, and then I forgot the arch thing here. I forgot the arch here. Okay, this may take a while. There we go. Now must give the height to it. Then add the lining. And now we do. And then now it's starting to make take shape. Make sure there's a line like in center. Alright, now for the tank. I think the trick here is that I basically use this reference photo. I size it and then line up with the side tank. My bad. Grab a rectangle, then move out here. And then I center it, checking, and like that. Now this is how I would do. And one from there, I did this trick where now here's a trick that I do, and like I make you probably make an L shape like this, and then this is for the splasher. See how it aligned perfectly? So therefore I use that, line up, and this will create a perspective that there's a splasher or wheel arches there. And then I use a line to create both like the edge of the siding, like both sides. And like that. Then I move it back, and I'll get you the cap later. Now, let's see if if the width of it is incorrect, this would be a good chance that I use a reference photo. Let's say this one for example, which I got from the beginning, and just double check if it look right. It may not be accurate, but it should be close enough. It depends on how you want yours to look like. Like see here, this one is a bit shorter than this one, but it should be okay with how far this from the footplate to the body it is here. So close enough, I'll count it. Other than that, move these, move the tank, and then grab the water cap. Center it, and then grab the dome. And then from there, I use this line to align it, and then stretch it so it look like it's not floating. Now normally I would do the whistle, but since it's behind the dome, and I think you can't really see it that well, like here. I think it's not necessary to include them. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the lamp iron that exists. Like don't forget these one, since they're also like essential to locomotive and stuff. Though then again, you might need. And remember, this is the big site. But then again, I'll come back to it later. Don't just remember to include this one. Now finally for the cab roof. So what I do is grab the cab roof from the side view, and then you need to see this later. Now I need to side the whole thing to the body width. See, notice how it's shorter, so we need to start aligning. Looks about right. And then you have then you double check if everything line up. So this way, I grab this one, I check if it's aligned, close enough. I'll consider it. And then you start shaping. Now for the roof, I mostly use polyline, well, actually all the time. So what I do is grab go to the center of the roof, and just trace it from there. And then I change the thickness to match the size. Of course, it may not be, like complete or right, because it may look different, but it should be close enough that it should be fine. Like I said earlier, it's like I mentioned earlier, it's low poly. You can go as detailed you want, go as easy as it is. So I'm making mine a bit easy. Now I align the roof to center. Just making sure it's for the roof. Usually the roof, I usually go by the roof, but that depends on like how it was made, like how it would look like, and it may look entirely different. Like here, this one is a bit shorter than this one, but it should be, but it's okay. Now for the cab, what you do is grab the whole thing and stretch it to where it will be blocked by polyline and shape the roof. Now here's a trick that I made for this. Is that it may look funky as it is, but once you bring it backward and and then you group it with the whole thing. And that's when we like that everything high, despite looking very weird. Now for the cat window. Now this one is circular, so as you can have a spear or a circle. I'm gonna say circle, not spear. And then just do some adjusting and make sure it line up. To make sure the gray line is with inside. And then using the line thickness. And void. Center it. And that should be it for the circle for the cap. Now I just want to mention this for any other time. Use window. And you can make any shape you want, but it has to be the right tool. So let's say you want to make a square one. A square, you click this. If you want to make a curved one, use a polyline. So it would definitely look something like this. It could be any shape you want. Just yeah. Right, once I had that, before and you actually need a completion, but you need to do a few more stuff or steps before you're done. So earlier you had this side view, and then you need that to double check on the size. And yeah, this whole thing is almost complete. The last thing that I mentioned that you need to do is the lamp iron, these things. So what I'm gonna do is reshape the whole thing by the foot plate. And from there, you can start making the lamp iron. Now, normally I will make the lamp itself, but I feel like I don't want to do that because I want to make this orthographic or diagram or whatever you call it, as I'm recording this on the last day of January, to be more like a base of when you're making this. So all you do is group them, paint it black, and align it. Oh yeah, you should get them for the front view too. Oh no, I mean side view is side view. Make sure to use this one. And yeah, that's basically everything about this one. The whole process of how to make an orthographic, ortho or diagram in Google Drawing. Well, for Thomas' friend. Also, it's optional if you want to make a back view of it, like this one, because how different it looks like it is. For example, this window here is higher than this one. It's up to you if you want to do that. So, but for the sake of it, I'm just gonna keep it like this. And that's basically everything. You want to actually catch my mind, like change my mind. If you want to include the like back view for more detail, I'm just do it very easy. I'm gonna do it in a very easy way. So what I do is grab the cap and the window. Okay. Then you need to align it. The trick here is that if you want to hide the window, to make it look like it's covered up, I use another block, no rectangle, and just make a circle right here. Make a new rectangle here to cover it up. Then I size this one. And from here, I basically trace everything as such. Then I line the windows to the center. Then I copy paste it and add here. And that, oh wait, and also optional if you want to include the back lamp. I'm not gonna do that for the sake of it. And that is basically how it is everything on how to make an orthographic / diagram for Thomas friend. That's the step you need to do. Delete every references that you need if you're done with them. And then from there, group everything. And yeah, that's my tutorial. Thanks for watching. And yeah, thank you for watching. I hope this help you with if you're making your own ortho / diagram in Google Drawing. Of course, you could come back and make a few detail. It's up to you. It's your creation. And thank you for watching.